Picture this. You are 60 years old, and you are standing in front of what we call the mirror of truth. For 4 decades, you have been climbing. You have hauled every spare pound up the slope, building a mountain of capital, one payslip at a time. And now, in 2026, you have finally reached the summit. But here is the uncomfortable secret that nobody mentions at the retirement party. The view from the top changes entirely depending on the size of your peak. 2 couples can stand at exactly the same age, in exactly the same postcode, and look out at 2 completely different futures. One is standing on solid ground, the other is standing on a trapdoor, and they cannot yet feel it swinging gently beneath their feet. Today, with the cold mathematics of a chartered pensions audit, we are going to reveal the honest reality of where you truly stand. Are you rich? Are you comfortable? Or are you quietly, mathematically, in trouble? Let us check the numbers. Before we climb the tiers, you have to understand the ground floor. In 2026, the full new state pension sits at roughly £13,000 per person. That figure is built on a lifetime of national insurance contributions, every NI stamp you paid, stretching all the way back to your first job. For a couple with a full record each, that is a combined safety net of around £26,000. But here is the cruel trap of being 60. That safety net has not arrived yet. At 60, you are still 6 to 7 years away from your very first state pension payment from HMRC. So for now, whatever private pot you have built has to do all of the heavy lifting entirely alone. Which brings us to Tier 1, the in-trouble zone. This is a private pot of under £100,000. Think of your finances like a phone battery flashing at 5%. You have a very long walk home ahead of you, the next 30 years, but your financial battery is glowing red in the corner of the screen. So what do? You start closing the apps. The travel gets switched off. The spontaneous gifts to the grandchildren, closed. The meals out, closed. You shut down everything that draws power, just to make sure the phone does not die before you reach the front door. And here is the honest truth. You are safe. The state pension will eventually arrive to keep the lights on. But until it does, you are functionally financial breathless, surviving each month, getting from one end of it to the other, but with no air left over to actually live. Tier 2 is the modest zone, a pot somewhere between £150,000 and £300,000. This is the safety standard. According to the PLSA, the modest lifestyle costs around £18,000 a year for an individual or £28,000 for a couple. In this zone, once your state pension finally joins the party, you will meet that line. You will be fine. You will eat well, you will run the home, you will see your friends, but you have 0 shock absorbers. Imagine walking through a foggy landscape. You can see your feet. You can see the next few steps clearly enough. But the horizon, 5 or 10 years out, is buried under a thick grey fog of inflation. You keep walking forward, but there is a constant, nagging worry about a hidden hole in the ground, a sudden medical cost, a leaking roof, a family emergency, something you simply cannot see coming through the fog. You are moving, yes, but you are never quite able to relax. Tier 3 is where the air changes, the comfortable zone, a pot of roughly £600,000 up to £900,000. The PLSA puts the comfortable lifestyle at around £45,000 a year for an individual, or £68,000 for a couple. And in this zone, drawing sensibly, you can genuinely fund it. This is where you stop owning things and start owning your time. 2 holidays a year, not agonized over on a spreadsheet. A kitchen refresh without a family summit to approve it. The freedom to say yes to a last-minute weekend away without first checking the balance. Spontaneity, which is quietly the truest luxury money can buy, comes back into your life. And then there is Tier 4, the rich zone, a pot of £1,200,000 or more. Here, something strange happens to money. It becomes wallpaper. It is still there, all around you, in the background of every room, but it is no longer the subject of the conversation. You do not check the markets over breakfast. You do not quietly calculate whether you can afford the nicer bottle of wine. The money has faded into the decor of a life that is now about people and purpose and time, not about pounds. That is what genuine wealth buys you, the ability to stop thinking about it entirely. So how do you actually reach comfortable? Let us do the chartered maths. Plainly, we use the 4% rule, the principle that you can safely draw around 4% from a sensibly invested pot each year without draining it dry before you go. To bridge the gap from your state pension up to that comfortable £68,000 for a couple, you are looking at a combined private pot of roughly £1 million. That is the real number. That is the summit you have been climbing towards. But now, a warning, the single most dangerous move a 60-year-old can make. We call it the 25% trapdoor. The rules let you take 25% of your pension as a tax-free lump sum, and it is deeply, deeply tempting. Pay off the mortgage, clear the slate, feel free at last. But be careful. Far too many people walk up to their money tree at 60 and, in one swing, decapitate it, lopping off that entire top 25% all at once. The problem is what gets left behind. The remaining 75% now has too little mass to regrow, too little weight to compound against the slow, grinding winter of inflation over the next 30 years. A tree with no crown struggles to survive the cold. So take that lump sum with a plan and a purpose, not with a chainsaw. Now, here is the good news, and it is a big one, especially if you are part of a couple. Two people do not cost twice as much as one. When you share a household, you share the structural costs. One council tax bill, not two. One building's insurance policy. One car on the drive. One broadband line. One set of standing charges. One roof over both your heads. Because those fixed costs are split down the middle, a couple's combined pots stretch roughly 20% further than the very same money held by two people living entirely alone. It is one of the quiet financial superpowers of a shared life. Two people, whether in the leafy home counties or the far north of the country, pooling their ISA savings and their pension pots together, simply get more real life out of every single pound. And this is where it all comes together. On any quiet morning, the moment the bank statement lands on the mat, the couple who planned well feel something the others never quite do. It is not a thrill, it is far quieter than that. It is the deep, settled realization that the two of you have successfully bought your freedom from the labour market. Nobody owns your Monday morning anymore, and that feeling is worth more than any single figure printed on the page. So let us be honest about what wealth in Britain actually means at 60. It was never about status. It was never about the car, or the postcode, or the size of the house. It is about resilience. True freedom is the moment your SIPP, your ISA, and your drawdown plan are large enough, together, to simply silence the fear. To quiet that anxious voice that has been running the numbers in the back of your mind for 40 long years. Because once that fear finally goes quiet, something remarkable happens. For the first time in your entire adult life, you can sit perfectly still in a home that is genuinely, wholly yours and listen to the beautiful, hard-won silence of your own time. That is the real summit, and it is worth every single step of the climb. If you learn something, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.